Top 5 mysterious disappearances that were never solved. In the annals of human history, there exist enigmatic tales that continue to perplex and haunt us, the mysterious disappearances that defy explanation. These are the cases where individuals vanish into thin air, leaving behind a void filled with unanswered questions, speculation, and intrigue. Despite exhaustive investigations, the passage of time only deepens the mystery surrounding these disappearances, shrouding them in an eerie veil of uncertainty. From inexplicable vanishing acts in remote wilderness to puzzling disappearances in bustling urban centers, these unresolved enigmas serve as poignant reminders of the boundless complexities of the human experience and the lingering presence of the unknown in our midst. Number 5. D.B. Cooper, 1971. In one of the most famous unsolved mysteries in the United States, a man using the alias D.B. Cooper hijacked a commercial airplane, extorting a ransom and parachuted out of the plane, disappearing without a trace. Despite extensive investigations, his true identity and whereabouts remain unknown. D.B. Cooper is the pseudonym used for an unidentified individual who, in 1971, perpetrated one of the most famous unsolved criminal cases in the United States. On November 24, 1971, a man using the name Dan Cooper, which is a misidentification, his name was later erroneously reported as D.B. Cooper in the media, hijacked a commercial airplane, Northwest Oregon Airlines Flight 305, while it was en route from Portland, Oregon, to Seattle, Washington. The hijacker claimed to have a bomb and showed a note to a flight attendant demanding $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck standing by in Seattle to refuel the plane for a getaway. After receiving the ransom and parachutes in Seattle, he released the passengers and some of the crew members. Cooper then directed the remaining crew to fly the plane, a Boeing 727, to Mexico City, keeping the cabin pressurized at a low level to prevent any attempts at storming the cockpit. Somewhere over the rugged and heavily forested terrain of southwestern Washington state and Oregon, Cooper parachuted from the rear stairway of the plane, disappearing into the night with the ransom money, and his whereabouts have remained a mystery ever since. Despite extensive investigations, including searches, interviews, and even amateur sleuthing, neither Cooper nor the bulk of the ransom money have ever been definitively located. Over the years, numerous theories and potential suspects have emerged, but the case remains one of the great unsolved mysteries in American criminal history. The FBI officially closed its active investigation into the case in 2016, but it still remains an intriguing topic that captures the public's imagination, and the legend of D.B. Cooper endures as an iconic figure of mystery and intrigue. Number 4. The Roanoke Colony, 1590. An English colony established on Roanoke Island in what is now North Carolina mysteriously vanished without a trace. The word Croton was found carved into a tree, suggesting a possible relocation to a nearby island inhabited by the Croton people, but no concrete evidence has been found. The Roanoke Colony, also known as the Lost Colony, was an early attempt by the English to establish a permanent settlement in North America. It was located on Roanoke Island, which is part of what is now North Carolina, USA. The colony's fate remains one of the enduring mysteries of American history. The first expedition to Roanoke Island was in 1585, led by Sir Ralph Lane. This initial settlement attempt struggled due to conflicts with local Native American tribes and supply shortages. The colonists eventually returned to England in 1586 on a supply ship that had arrived. In 1587, a second attempt at establishing a colony was made, this time under the leadership of John White. The group included not only men, but also women and children, making it more of a long-term settlement effort. White went back to England to obtain supplies and additional settlers, leaving behind his daughter and granddaughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the New World, among the colonists. However, due to various delays, White wasn't able to return to Roanoke Island until 1590. When he arrived, he found the colony abandoned and the words Croton carved into a tree and Cro carved into a post. This suggested that the settlers might have moved to Croton Island, now known as Hatteras Island, which was inhabited by Native American tribes known as the Croton and Secotan. However, White was unable to investigate further due to a storm and other unfavorable conditions, and he returned to England without definitively determining the fate of the colony. The disappearance of the Roanoke colony remains a historical mystery. The fate of the settlers has never been conclusively determined. Various theories have been proposed, including assimilation into local Native American communities, migration to other locations, and even the possibility of violence or illness leading to their demise. The story of the lost colony has captured the imagination of many over the centuries and continues to be a subject of historical research, speculation, and popular culture. The Roanoke colony's disappearance is an enduring enigma that highlights the challenges and uncertainties faced by early European attempts to establish permanent settlements in the New World. Number 3. Ambrose Bierce, 1913. Ambrose Bierce, a famous American writer and journalist, disappeared without a trace during his trip to Mexico. He had gone there to witness the Mexican Revolution. Despite extensive searches and speculation, his fate and the circumstances of his disappearance remain a mystery. Bierce's writing style was characterized by his wit, cynicism, and often bleak perspective on human nature and society. He is perhaps most famous for his short story, An Occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge, which is a classic example of his ability to create twist endings and psychological tension. Bierce's most significant work is The Devil's Dictionary, a satirical reference book that provides humorous and often sardonic definitions for various words and phrases. This work showcases his sharp wit and critical observations of the society of his time. In 1913, Bierce traveled to Mexico, where he became involved in the Mexican Revolution as an observer. He wrote letters to friends during this time detailing his experiences. However, after December 26, 1913, his correspondence abruptly ceased, and he was never seen again. The circumstances of his disappearance remain a mystery, and his ultimate fate is unknown. This mysterious disappearance has added to the intrigue and interest surrounding Bierce's life and work. Number 2. Ettore Majorana, 1938. An Italian physicist, Ettore Majorana vanished under mysterious circumstances. He was last seen taking a boat trip and subsequently never returned. Some theories suggest suicide, while others propose that he might have intentionally disappeared due to his involvement in groundbreaking physics research that could have military applications. In 1937, Majorana published a paper titled Theory of the Symmetry of Electrons and Positrons, in which he introduced the concept of neutrinos as particles that could be their own antiparticles. This idea is known as the Majorana neutrino, and it has profound implications for our understanding of neutrino physics and the nature of particles. Majorana developed an equation that describes particles with properties of both matter and antimatter. This equation, known as the Majorana equation, is a relativistic wave equation that describes the behavior of fermions that are their own antiparticles. This work laid the foundation for the study of Majorana fermions and their potential applications in particle physics and beyond. Ettore Majorana's contributions to physics were cut short when he mysteriously disappeared in March 1938. He was last seen taking a ferry from Palermo to Naples and was never heard from again. His disappearance remains one of the unsolved mysteries in the history of science. Despite his relatively short scientific career, Majorana's work has had a lasting impact on particle physics and theoretical physics. His ideas on neutrinos and the Majorana equation have influenced subsequent research in the field. Majorana fermions in particular have gained attention in the study of condensed matter physics and quantum computing. Ettore Majorana's work and ideas continue to inspire physicists to this day, and his contributions to particle physics and theoretical physics remain significant. Number 1. The Sodder Children, 1945. The Sodder children's case refers to a mysterious and tragic incident that occurred on Christmas Eve in 1945 in Fayetteville, West Virginia, USA. The Sodder family, consisting of George and Jenny Sodder and their 10 children, lived in a 2-story house. During the night in the fire, the house caught fire and quickly became engulfed in flames. George and Jenny Sodder, along with 4 of their children, managed to escape the fire. However, 5 of their children, Maurice, 14, Martha, 12, Louis, 9, Jenny, 8, and Betty, 5, were unaccounted for and presumed dead in the fire. Despite the extensive fire damage, no human remains were found in the ashes of the house. This led some to believe that the children might not have died in the fire. The family's telephone line was found to have been cut before the fire, preventing them from calling for help. This raised suspicions that the fire could have been intentionally set. Some investigators argue that the fire did not cause the level of damage expected, considering the quick collapse of the house. This led to speculation about the fire's cause: arson. George Sodder believed that the fire might have been set intentionally, potentially related to his vocal anti-fascist views, as this was during World War II. He also had an insurance policy that didn't pay out due to suspicion of arson. The Sodder family spent the rest of their lives searching for answers about what happened to their missing children. They hired private investigators, publicized the case, and even erected a billboard with pictures of the missing children in hopes of obtaining information. Despite the efforts, the mystery of the Sodder children's disappearance was never fully resolved. The official cause of the fire was attributed to faulty wiring, and the deaths of the 5 children were officially recorded. The case remains unsolved, and over time, various theories and speculations have emerged, ranging from abduction to human trafficking. The Sodder children's case is a haunting and tragic mystery that has captivated the public's imagination for decades. It highlights the complexities of missing person cases and the enduring pain that families experience when they don't have closure about the fate of their loved ones. Click the like button and subscribe to our channels for more videos.